Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You, Me, and He, a podcast that apparently just says dude all the time, okay? Because I'm going to tell you guys, I had an interaction with some folks on Facebook, and they were like, hey, I love your show. It was hilarious, but you guys say dude way too much. And I'm not going to lie. I listened back to episode 11, and we said dude so many times I lost count. So...
You know what?
Fellas.
That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. And here's the reason why. Has anyone ever seen that State Farm commercial? And the word that's used in there, it's a key word. It's the only one that's used. Dude. Like,
Dude.
Did you see that commercial?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's the guys communicating, but it's every different circumstance. You know, like...
For sure.
Yeah. He's like, dude. 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 You know,
It's the universal word.
It is a universal word. There are many other four-letter words that we could use more abundantly than dude, and I'm not going to apologize for it. So, you know, that's just the way it goes.
It's a word that you can say 100 different ways, and it can mean 100 different things.
Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
If anything, maybe we're on a higher level of communicating.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to
that's
say.
how I feel about it. I'm totally good with it. So
Awesome. Well, hey, welcome to the show. I am your host, Rob Lambert, and joined by my co-host.
this is Josh Frankenstein.
And Drew Carroll.
That's right. And fellas, speaking of interactions on Facebook, after our episode talking about the top sitcom dads, one of our faithful listeners, good friend, Nikki Richards, she chimed in and she said, hey, Danny Tanner, fine, but if you're going to go full house, you got to go with Uncle Jesse because he's the hottest. And if the list was the hottest dads, I think we still probably would have went with Tony Danza. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm going to have to echo that sentiment. The other thing that we got to remember, too, is even though Jesse did become a dad, like later on the show, he was Uncle Jesse first. The core of that family is Danny Tanner and his 3 daughters. So, you know, maybe it's a technicality, but yeah.
Danny Tanner,
sorry.
the murderous Mr. Mom.
Yeah, we know who the head of that family is.
The whole show, the whole premise of the show is uncomfortable.
There you go. Well, okay, but here's the thing. So when she brought up Uncle Jesse, it did remind me of something that I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys, but just like the guacamole and some of those other things from my past, did I ever tell you about the UJ?
No.
Okay, then you're going to learn about this along with all of our listeners. And
Awesome.
This is not necessarily something that I'm proud to share, but you know what? Once it gets out in the world, it's a good thing. So a couple of years ago, I was working in youth ministry, and I was just kind of talking with some of my high school guys, and we were cutting it up. And I suddenly came up with this idea called the UJ. So basically, Uncle Jesse is a cool guy, okay? And if you remember, in the 90s, cool guys, what they loved to do is when they would go to sit in a chair, rather than sitting in a chair like a normal person, they would turn the chair backwards.
Oh, dude.
And sort of like put their arms up on the back of the chair, right?
Yeah.
So the UJ is basically when you're going to take a dump,
I remember
you
this.
Uncle Jesse the toilet. Now here's the thing. It's awesome because the tank of the toilet becomes like a desk while you're doing your dump, dude. You can do some work, you can eat a sandwich, whatever you need.
Dude, I remember you talking about this a couple of years ago and thinking it was genius. And then
So here's the deal, though.
Trying it. And dirtying up the wrong end of the bowl.
There you go.
When you think about it, though, that's the like last part of the bowl that anyone ever sees. So, like,
Sure.
if someone walks in after you, they're not going to think that you just destroyed the toilet because they're not even going to see that
that
part.
way?
Yeah, exactly.
Now here's the thing. If you're contemplating trying the UJ, more power to you. I love it. Just go out there, make it happen. But here's the thing that you need to consider. A lot of people don't think about it until they're in the midst of it, and then it's too late. In order to do the UJ, one leg has to come out of your pants in order to get your legs around. So if you're going to do this in public, all I'm saying is exercise some caution. You don't want to end up on a registry.
Definitely not. You might also want to check the surrounding floor area because you don't want to drench your pants. Like,
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's a mess.
I had a student who was like keeping a tally of all the different places and reporting back to me like the craziest places that he decided to UJ, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to know this.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
keep
yeah.
it to yourself, bro.
Yeah.
please,
No.
please.
Those
That's
are
a private
intimate details,
session. Yeah. you're speaking of like, using the facility in the reverse way. Kind of a funny joke might be to lift the top off the back of the toilet and pee into that. So then when someone flushes next time,
it just comes in yellow.
Water just comes in yellow. They're going to be like, what happened?
What did I do? I guess all I'm saying is if you're going to try the UJ, hashtag UJ on Twitter, share it. We want to know about it. There you go. So, Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing pretty good. But speaking of private time, I had a little incident this week, everyone, and I will try and keep it as PG as possible, so it's not too disgusting. But I was working in my office this week, and this is how you know when you're getting older. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm 35 years old, and so I'm not like old, obviously, but getting older. Sometime around the year 29, your body just
Things change.
Yeah, well, it starts to decide. Yeah, I want to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Yeah, I want to have dinner at 5 o'clock. Yeah, I don't really feel like going to that dance party where the music's going to be playing loud for 4 hours or so.
I will take earplugs to the concert.
I will take earplugs to the concert.
I don't want to miss my Matlock.
Yeah, I'd like to listen to my children grow up. It just happens. So like this week I had, one of those post 30 incidents, and it kind of sucked. Like I was working at the office and ended up having to go to the restroom, and it was just number one. I just had to go number one, right? So I get up from my desk from doing my work, and I walk around or across my building to where the restroom is. And I mean, for number one business, man, you go to the urinal, right? And so
depending on who else is in there.
Depending on who else is in there, yeah.
Episode 10.
Please, yeah. Hashtag episode 10. So I walk up to the urinal and I do my business. And have you guys ever been at that part, like at the tail end, where you're just trying to like finish? You're just trying to get
it out,
the rest out. Yeah, just like finish. So you're not quite forcing, but you're kind of pushing a little bit, just to finish.
That's called a fart and wiggle.
Wiggle. Oh man. Yeah. So I found myself at that part, man, like just, like trying to get done. And then all of a sudden, man, like a volcanic eruption.
Oh no.
From the back end, like something I didn't even need to do. Like when I went to the restroom, like it's like my guts just burst from beneath. And all of a sudden, dude, I just puckered as fast as I could, right? I just, close up everything, just like, just to isolate it, because I just don't want to come walking out of this restroom like with my underwear and pants just not intact, right?
Been there, done that.
So, I buttoned up like as fast as I could, dude. And I mean, if anyone and everyone can sympathize with this, like if you've ever had to just cut short your private time, like it can be painful. It can be painful.
Oh man.
Right? So I mean, I just button up and I'm standing at the urinal, and this is a big bathroom, and I'm looking around, dude. Just like looking to see if there's anyone else in here, right? And like I look over at the door. Yeah, I look over at the door and there's nobody there. And without even zipping my pants up, dude, I just back away from the urinal like as fast as I can. Like if you can imagine, like just power walking backwards as fast as I can to the stall across the room,
man.
dude. It's just like back right into the stall and just open that door and close it as hard as I can. I don't even think I locked it. I just closed it, dude.
Why bother?
Like dropped the drawers and sat down. I saved myself. So, I mean, this was the good part. Like, I did not destroy anything, but I spent probably a good 10 more minutes in that restroom than I planned or intended on spending. And it was just, oh, man. Like, we've had some...
Oh, no, dude.
Not close calls.
Not close calls at all.
Yeah, beyond close calls.
Okay, you know what, dude?
But, yeah, that was something that happened this week. I was like, man... I'm getting older. I can't even control my bowels anymore.
Dude. Oh, man. Just when you think like you don't really have any fears left in this world.
Oh, I know, dude.
Something simple like that happens to you that could wreck your day.
I'm 35. I'm mature. I got nothing to worry about.
Until that.
No, time. I've got time to worry about.
Yeah,
time.
dude.
All right, Drew. How about you, man? How's your week?
Dude, it was really good. Just worked, sometimes when... people are rude to me at work, though, I'm not young like I was when I was younger. I would kind of make a smart remark or something, but this time I decided to go a different route. And this lady was really rude to us when she was walking out the door of the store, and so I saw her pull her keys out Like she was gonna go look for her car. She was an older lady, man. She was probably like late 60s, early 70s.
Oh man.
She pulls her keys out to look for her car, dude. And she starts hitting the button, so I hit mine.
Oh, you're such a jerk. You are such a jerk.
So she starts walking over towards
This
my
is the
car.
panic, right? Like you hit the panic button.
No,
so it
she's
makes noise?
hitting it for like the lock. You know, you lock it and it buttons it.
All right.
And so every time she hits it, I hit it and it goes bonk, and it honks. And so she starts walking towards my car. And I guess her car was in the opposite direction of my car because she starts walking over there. And when she got over there, I stopped hitting the button and she would click it and then nothing would happen.
Dude.
That's a good week.
And then finally I decided to call it quits. It went on for like 3 minutes and I was like, okay, she's already walked over there to my car. Now she has to go back over to her car. So I decided to call it done. But
That's hilarious.
yeah, I felt a little bad, but it kind of helped out.
Dude, you're administering justice. You're like a superhero.
Oh, dude.
Everywhere you go, you administer justice.
Dude, I do what I can.
That's amazing.
You can tell you're coming to the end of your job because now you're just getting bored.
Oh, dude,
Like,
yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
like,
All the things that
Everyone is tired of seeing you out there.
Yeah, dude. And I am tired of being out there. We're all feeling it.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, hey, tonight we have an awesome topic that we want to get into. Something that might seem a little bit random, but something that we're going to have some fun with. Tonight we are going to break down the top 3 M. Night Shyamalan films.
Yes.
And you may be saying there are no top 3 M. Night Shyamalan films.
No, there's definitely somebody out there saying that.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to throw them your way and you're going to love it. So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first because this was one of the early ones. I think this
wanna
was,
go first.
This is one of the early M. Night Shyamalan films. So the one that I chose for his top 3, the one that's coming to you from Josh Frankenstein, was the movie Signs. I know everybody gets all excited about The Sixth Sense because like it was his first one and didn't see that plot twist coming, you know. Just all that type of thing. If anyone thinks of M. Night Shyamalan, like all they think about is The Sixth Sense. But I remember Signs, dude. And the reason why I picked Signs as like my favorite one is because, you know, you got Mel Gibson in there, you know, before his Jew hating days, like what?
Before he went off the deep end.
Anti-Semitism.
Yeah, there we go. I was trying
And
to
he
think
played
of the
a
polite way of
priest.
saying, I was trying to think of the polite way of saying that.
That wasn't it.
Yeah. So, but that's still what's ironic about it is, yeah, Rob's right. You know, he plays this ex-reverend, but later on he gets arrested like on the streets of Los Angeles and says some pretty profane things if anyone remembers what he said, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. You know, it's got Joaquin Phoenix in it, who's like this washed up baseball player. Living with the family, but not as cool as Uncle Jesse, you know. So
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
Way more depressed.
yeah, just not cool, you know. And then these 2 kids that are just like, I don't know, not really cute, but it's just like part of the movie. One can apparently see into the future through like cups of water or something, you know. It's just I don't know. I just thought it was funny, dude. The reason why I picked this film was the main reason is because in this whole movie you never see an alien, even though it's about aliens, right? Like
Yeah, for
you
real.
never see an alien until this one part where they finally like broadcast like this news from like Brazil or Southern America or something.
Looking like this.
And yeah, dude, like, okay, like I didn't think like this movie was scary at all, but for some reason, that one part in this movie, dude, like where the alien just like walks across this alley, like, and he does it like in this like just fluid motion that almost looks like Sasquatch.
Oh, dude,
and it's
yeah.
just short, you know, and there's like no music that goes along with it except for like that one like theatrical boom, you know, like right when he comes on scene, it just like kind of sends chills down your back and you're like, that was freaky as crap.
Yeah, dude.
I can't tell you why. It happened in daylight. Like, but, you know, it was freaky as crap. So,
Yeah,
you know, I just thought it was like kind of an interesting movie, and when you think about it in terms of who acted in it and the irony behind, you know, what those actors represented versus who they are in real life, I thought I had to go with Signs, dude. I was like, plus it was way better than Unbreakable. That movie just sucked. Like, it wasn't good at all. So it was maybe it wasn't his best, but you know, I thought it was the one that I was most entertained by. So I had to go with Signs.
Right on. Right on.
Dude, the thing about Signs, okay, that was always interesting to me is you have these aliens who are deciding to attack and try to take over a planet that is over 70% composed of the thing that is their weakness. They could have went anywhere else. What are they doing?
Here's where they could have set up shop in Flint, Michigan. They're having water problems. There's not really much there. They could have set up shop in the Central Valley of California. They would have done fine there.
Something tells me Mars would have been really great.
Mars would have been solid.
You know,
Probably anywhere place.
The
anywhere
red planet.
there.
There's no
The
water
moon.
there. You know. Then again, we have to take into consideration whether aliens are actually real and whether Mars actually exists also, but that's another conversation for another time.
There you go. I think that mine is not a popular choice, but of all the M. Night Shyamalan films that I saw, this was the one that really stood out to me the most, and I think a lot of it had to do with the cast. I'm talking about Lady in the Water.
Yes.
And I'm talking about that sexy, sexy man, Paul Giamatti. He's just like, you know, he's like a more suave, cooler George Costanza is what it comes down to.
More suave, cooler George. All right, I can get on board with that. One thing I like about Paul Giamatti, though, like before you go any further, dude, that guy is an underrated actor. Like in my
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
Dude, he's
amazing.
awesome. So anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, you got this. It's basically this like lady living in the bottom of the swimming pool, and you got this crazy cast of characters.
Wait, has anyone else ever had that nightmare? You know, just some random chick like living at the bottom of your swimming pool. Like,
Oh, I thought you meant that Paul Giamatti was hanging out with you.
well, Andrew grew up with a pool, man. He should know a lot about that.
With what?
You grew up like with a pool in your backyard, right? Like, did you ever think that there was like a lady living in the deep end of the...
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
Dude,
Okay.
you know what? When it's dark outside, you start to think there's a lot of things in the water. All of a sudden, you start thinking there's sharks, even though it's a chlorinated pool and there's never been even a fish in there.
Nightmare.
So you got this crazy lady living down at the bottom of the pool. You got Paul Giamatti trying to figure out what's going on, and then you got this cool cast of characters. You got the dude with the one beefy arm for some reason. That's just amazing.
What the heck?
Yeah, you got the dog that's like made out of grass or something. I don't even know, but dude, for my money, Lady in the Water, man.
Now that I look at it, I kind of have a conspiracy theory that you guys know who a Jeep Pie is?
A Jeep
Yeah,
pie?
the dude, the net neutrality
What kind of
guy.
pie is that?
Yeah, he's M. Night Shyamalan with short hair.
A Jeep pie.
Yeah.
I thought it was some sort of like fruit dessert or something.
Yeah, I'll get the Jeep Pie.
I'll take the Jeep pie.
Okay, wait. And M. Night Shyamalan makes an appearance in every movie. So in Signs, he's the dude who's got like the alien trapped in his house, right?
Oh, dude, I can't remember that far back, but I think you might be right.
I remember him in The Village. He was the dude in the guard tower or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't remember him in any of his other ones. But I've also only watched all of his movies one time.
Like one time.
And that's enough.
I can only
All
take
right,
so
dude,
many
what's your
plot
choice,
twists.
man?
Well, since it was M. Night Shyamalan, I just thought I would go with the absolute worst one, The Happening.
Oh, nice.
Wait,
Dude, Mark
didn't we say
Wahlberg, bro.
Top 3 Shyamalan movies.
Yeah, dude, but in my mind, this is like the absolute worst one. And it's a shame, dude, because I love Mark Wahlberg. What?
Top 3.
Yeah, dude, but they're all bad.
Okay.
So it's the top worst one. It started out great.
Isn't this the one where like some old lady like lays down in front of a lawnmower or something?
Yeah, dude, everyone
okay.
like...
All right.
Yes.
I never
Everyone-
saw the movie.
People are like walking off of buildings and walking out into cars and shooting each other and doing all this crazy stuff, dude.
Sounds like
And-
The Walking Dead.
Well, sort of, yeah. And it started out really cool, and then you find out that it's about global warming. Wah, wah.
Wait. Say that again. It's about what?
Global warming. Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah,
How do you even correlate that? Like,
I don't know,
explain it to me. I never saw the movie. Like, how do they correlate it?
People are walking around dying, and then they're realizing that like this wind comes through, and that's when people are starting to like go crazy or whatever, or just like zone out and become a zombie, and then you do something to kill yourself or kill somebody else or whatever. And then they finally figured out, because they stopped at some lady's house who gardens, and they found out that the earth gets mad. The earth is mad and it's replenishing itself.
Gosh.
You know, they figured out that they needed to do things to give back to the earth to make it happy again, and then everyone would not die. So yeah, it was...
Mother Earth is a cruel parent.
Yeah,
you
dude.
must appease her.
I'm really glad I did not waste 2 hours of my life watching that movie.
Yeah, dude, it could have been so much better. Mark Wahlberg,
That's
why?
terrible. Yeah, why would you? Because at the time, dude, M. Night Shyamalan was being hailed as the next Steven Spielberg.
He was.
That's why. Everyone wanted to be in one of his movies.
That's true.
Dude, the twist of this entire segment is that there is no good M. Night Shyamalan movie. We've been hoaxing you the whole time.
We got you.
What a twist.
What a twist.
No, but no, for real. If you agree with us, or maybe you have another opinion, you want to talk M. Night Shyamalan movies and why Lady in the Water is the best one, then hit us up on Twitter at YouMeHePodcast or Facebook.com/YouMeHePodcast. And speaking of keeping the conversation going on social media, our listener question this week comes from a guy named Marcus, and dude, I love this. I love this because this is something that we were going to talk about at some point, and so let's just get it out of the way. If the apocalypse happens, and it will, he wanted us to know, who will live the longest?
Me.
If this was Jeopardy, I got you.
You didn't buzz.
All right, let's break this down. So who's going to live? The apocalypse hits. Crap hits the fan. Who's going to survive?
I don't think there's any question here, actually.
All right.
I don't think there's any question.
Okay.
It can't. It's not possible. It can't. It's very, very obvious. Josh Frankenstein outlasts everybody. Okay. My finger is on the pulse of every conspiracy that floats around out there. Only I know the truth. I know it better than Mulder and Scully at this point. Okay. Like, if the apocalypse happens, Josh Frankenstein outlasts everybody. I've got the means. I've got the smarts. I've got the knowledge. I've got it all, dude. You're not outlasting me in the apocalypse, okay? I hate to burst your bubble on this one, but it's not happening.
Drew.
All right.
Drew, he's like the governor right now, and you're Rick Grimes, dude. What are you going to tell him? What are you going to tell him right now?
I have spent the better part of my adult life without money, on the road, homeless, scavenging, while he's been in his cushy job,
paying for all the things that are going to get me through the apocalypse.
Oh, dang.
But
Building
I
up
will
a stockpile.
scavenge. Dude, you're going to run out, and I'll still be out there, dude, hustling.
So-
just like I hustle for signatures, dude, I'll be collecting canned goods. I'll be collecting ammunition, knives, dude, killing zombies if it's a zombie apocalypse. If it's not, that's fine too. Dude,
You're not going to let Girl Scouts or old ladies get in your way at all, are you?
Dude.
You're going to wait until the apocalypse.
It's not even
to
the
collect all
apocalypse,
these
and I
things?
already punked them. All right, it's not going to be an issue.
You're going to wait until the apocalypse to collect all these things, along with everybody else, right?
Josh, come on. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to talk about what I have and don't have.
He's not going to show his hand so easily.
You know what?
Yeah. Well, put it out there on the internet how prepared you are and how much stuff you have, so when it happens, they come to your house first.
I've never once done that. I would
Guess
never
what?
dare.
Day one of the apocalypse, and Josh is out of stuff.
Party at Josh's, woo! It'll be like Trolls, dude. You'll be Branch, and we'll all come piling into the bunker.
Oh, don't even get me started on Trolls, dude. Don't even get me started. Oh, all right.
What if it was a troll
Here comes the
apocalypse?
soapbox. Here comes the soapbox. Dude, when I watched that movie Trolls, besides the ugly looking like things that eat the trolls.
Wait, are you
which,
talking about
by
the kids
way,
movie?
Yeah,
Oh,
which by the way were
Bergens?
like, yeah, the Bergens were creepy as hell. Like, I mean, just like really, really creepy. That movie was like creepy to me. The thing that made me more angry than anything was that one troll dude who saved up everything trying to get ready for like the 10 years of like famine and all that other stuff.
Right,
and then
yeah.
Chica goes and rains on his parade, dude. Like opens everything, like all of his works. It was the worst socialism thing I've ever seen, man. Like it grated at me. Like I wanted to like crawl into the TV and blow her away. Just like,
my God.
boom, like take her out.
That's brutal.
Like, I was angry for him. I was
Dude.
angry for him.
So you're a socialist.
It's that killer. It's that killer instinct that's why Josh is going to survive. Man.
That's right.
When
That's
I watch that
I
movie,
don't ask questions.
when I watch that movie and Branch is talking and he's like, I could survive down here for 10 years, 12 if I'm willing to drink my own sweat, and I am. Dude, I'm like, dude, that's Josh right there.
Okay, maybe I was a little hostile, but I would definitely use her as Anne Heche to like, beat the wall.
So for sure, I know that the answer is not me. So it comes down to you guys. So I get to split the tie. Because
awesome.
what is the saying? You either die or live long enough to watch yourself become the bad guy.
Yeah. Thank you, Batman.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna live long enough to see myself become the bad guy.
So I guess what it really comes down to is Drew. I mean, you're saying like, hey man, I'm ready. I've lived the nomad life. I'm ready to go out there and do what I have to do when the time comes.
Look, dude, do you think that it changes a homeless person's life in the apocalypse?
Now, Josh, though, let me ask you a question. You're saying I have stockpiled an undisclosed amount of supplies and I'm ready when it happens.
No, I haven't said that. I just said that I'm going to outlive everybody in the apocalypse. That's all I said.
I guess what I'm asking, Josh, is there room for one more in your bunker?
Dude, you have a
If the answer is yes, then you're going to win this.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, I do. I've got.
Yeah, Josh
I've
wins.
got
Josh would
room
live the
for
longest.
4 more. I've got room for 4 more.
All right, yeah. Yeah, Josh wins. Josh wins, Drew. Sorry, man.
There's 3 in my party now.
I think you know what. I'm gonna end this discussion on a high note, and I think the proper answer is who survives the apocalypse. Us.
All of us.
Us.
Well, hey, what are your plans, and where are you keeping all of your supplies? We'd love to hear on social media, so chime in on Twitter
Yes.
at YouMeHe Podcast.
Please let us
or
know.
Facebook.com/YouMeHe Podcast. And just, tell us what you got and where it's at. And, that's a cool thing to share with everybody. And it'll be awesome. Don't even worry about it. All right, fellas. Well, hey, we're coming to the end of our time. So before we sign off, let us take it to Socrates. If you could give some advice to a younger you, what would it be? Who wants to go first?
This younger me is only about 4 days younger than the current me. But if I could give the younger me some advice, it would be, hey, dude, just be careful out there, man, because you can't always rely on your bowels to like come through when the time is needed.
Dude, so when we were...
Those muscles get weak, man.
You can't even trust your own bowels.
Dude,
In the apocalypse.
Yeah. Just always be on the lookout. Never get too comfortable.
Let's go.
so when we
Keep
were...
your butt on a swivel. Sorry. Okay, Drew, what?
when we were planning for this show, and I was looking out the outline and I saw yours, and it was talking about, so I was standing in the urinal. I didn't really know what that was going to entail.
Right.
And I thought it was hilarious because you and I had the exact same moment this week, and it might have even been at the same time. Who knows?
Dude, serendipity, bro.
My ears were kind of red, actually.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they were just ringing.
Were your
like
butt
crazy.
cheeks burning?
So my Socrates, I wasn't going to tell the story, but my Socrates today was going to be never force a fart.
Of course.
And so I just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
that
that's
they-
just good knowledge, too.
Yeah, so ours went hand in hand this week. So
It's Providence, man.
That's
Providence.
awesome.
it's weird.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah.
We're both in our 30s, same bloodline.
Yeah. There's got to be a correlation there somewhere. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a correlation there. Rob, how about you, man? What's your Socrates?
If I was going to give my younger self some advice, I would sit myself down, look myself straight in the eye, and just say, when you come up with the idea for the UJ, just be careful who you share it with, because people are going to send you photos and they're going to send you text messages while they're doing it and telling you, hey, I'm in my pastor's house UJing right now in his bathroom. And I just don't need to know that. I just do not need to know that. So just be careful with how you unleash these things into the world. Hashtag UJ. Hashtag UJ. That's right. Hey, we want to say thank you so much for listening to the show and supporting the show. Thanks to everybody who's been going and leaving us the 5-star reviews and ratings on Apple Podcasts and on iTunes. It really helps out the show. Also, we just want to say thanks for everybody who's been engaging with us via social media. One of the things that we just launched this week was our Instagram, and so you can find us on Instagram at YouMeHe Podcast. And actually, Twitter and Instagram are kind of going to be more of the places that we put content first, and so that's a great place to interact, asking questions, or to share some of the content that we put out there. And so we really appreciate that. Follow us there. We'll follow you back, and we love to chat with you guys and talk about just some of the random stuff that comes up. So until next time, I am Rob Lambert.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
Drew Carroll.
Go out there and UJ. Have a good night.